Hello, this is the 14th lecture of Revelation and World History. In Chapter 1 of Revelation and World History, it mainly explained the creation of the Red Empire Babylon and the shape of the country. In Chapter 2, we will learn about the rise and fall of this Red Empire. That is, we are verifying by comparing the text of the Bible that describes the nature of the Red Empire with actual history. Last time, we learned that the Babylon in the book of Jeremiah of the Old Testament and Babylon in the book of Revelation refer to the same object. The modifiers for Babylon were the one with the sickle at the time of harvest and the hammer that strikes the world. However, the Soviet Union's flag has a sickle and hammer drawn on it. This is historical proof that Babylon refers to the Soviet Union. In this session, we will learn about another nickname for Babylon, Sesak. Revelation and World History, Chapter 2, Section 4. Each will return to his own people and to his own country. People will return to their own people and flee to their own country, for fear of the sword that oppresses them. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 16. We have tried to heal Babylon, but she has not been healed. Let us abandon her and return to our own country. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 9. The Commonwealth of Independent States, a big coalition, declared independence, ultimately leading to the dissolution of the Soviet Union. People who fled the destruction of Babylon said, "We will return to our own people and to our own country." If you look at the appearance of the countries included in the CIS, you can understand what this means. One of the most obvious characteristics of independent states is that they are ethnically centered. Each republic that made up the Soviet Union was a mixture of various ethnic groups. However, the standard for independence was that the largest ethnic unit became a single state. This is the same as how each republic was already formed by ethnic units during the Soviet Union. The largest ethnic groups that make up the Soviet Union are Slavic Russians and Ukrainians. The Soviet Union was also a multi-ethnic state with over 100 nationalities, including Tatars and Jews. Among them, each republic was named after the ethnic group that made up the majority in the republic, such as Kazakhs, Tajiks, Uzbeks, and Turkmens. Many ethnic minorities also lived together within each republic. However, the independent republics adopted the language of the ethnic group that became the name of each country as the official language. When these republics declared independence, the Soviet Union was dissolved. They no longer belonged to Babylon and returned to their own people. It was not a great migration of peoples from one region to another like the Great Migration of the Germanic peoples in the past. They returned to their own people, to their homeland, right where they were standing. Each republic gained independence while under the rule of the Soviet Union. They did not try to heal Babylon, that had lost its power. Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 9. Declaring independence while abandoning the empire is the same as returning home. Revelation and World History, Chapter 2, Section 5. The Fall of Sesak. Alas, Sesak has fallen, the praise of the whole earth has been taken. Alas, Babylon has become a desolation among the nations. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 41. Another nickname for Babylon is Sesak. The Korean Bible reads Sesak as Sesak, which is the Hebrew Bible's spelling, SSK, with vowels added. The original Hebrew Bible has no vowels, only consonants, and it is read from right to left. The original Hebrew writing does not have vowels. The Hebrew Bible began to have vowels added around the 7th century AD. when Jewish Masoretic scholars created vowel symbols to write it. In the Old Testament, when writing Babylon, it was written as BBL, using only consonants in Hebrew. Later generations read it as Babylon by adding vowels. Sheshach is the letter of Atbash, which means Babylon. Atbash script is a style of writing the alphabet in reverse order. For example, in English, the letter corresponding to A is written as the last letter, Z. ABC is written as ZYX, in reverse alphabet order. So that only those who know this secret can read it, and it is used as a kind of code. In Hebrew, when the letters corresponding to Babylon, BBL are written in reverse, it becomes Sheshach, SSK. However, this letter is not a secret letter, written in reverse in the Book of Revelation, but is actually pronounced as it is. This is an abbreviation for the Soviet Union. Soviet, socialism, in other words. SS is an abbreviation for Soviet socialism. K is the first letter of communism, and it is also the first letter of the Kremlin, the seat of power of the Soviet Union. Sheshach, SSK is not Babylon written backwards, but is actually the national name of Babylon, that appears in the Book of Revelation. This is truly an amazing secret. This is the fulfillment of God's prophecy. Meaning that God had already aligned the name and pronunciation of the Soviet Union with Babylon and Sheshach. The sickle and hammer on the Soviet flag is also consistent with the biblical text. Also, the abbreviation for the national name is Sheshach, which is not the alphabet written backwards in the Atbash script. On the contrary, Babylon BBL is the name of the Soviet Union, written backwards in alphabetical order. In Jeremiah chapter 25 verse 11, it is said that the Babylonian Empire will rule over Israel and the surrounding countries for 70 years. In Daniel chapter 9 verse 2, it is said that the fact that Jerusalem will be desolated after 70 years was known through the book of Jeremiah. And in Matthew chapter 24, Jesus mentioned the name of the prophet Daniel, and said that the prophecy Daniel spoke of was a future event that had not yet been fulfilled at that time. In Revelation chapter 1 verses 1 to 3, it is stated that this revelation is a prophecy proclaimed in the name of Jesus Christ. In this way, the Old Testament and the New Testament are closely connected. And we believe and interpret the fact that they are the same word from God. And we are discovering that the facts are definitely consistent. In this session, we learned about Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 16, everyone will return to his own people, to his own country. And Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 41, another nickname for Babylon, Sheshach. The text of the Bible's prophecies and the actual history are in perfect agreement. The fact that the Old Testament's prophecies and the New Testament's revelation both prophesy about the same history. Next time, we will learn about chapter 2, section 6, the one who sits as queen, and chapter 2, section 7, the merchants and craftsmen of Babylon. Thank you for your interest and subscription. This was the Bible History School. Thank you very much.